So at this point in time, it looks like Toby Collyer is the most likely Manchester United youth player who will get game time in the first team next season. However, whilst I do like Collyer and definitely think that he deserves a chance, I do have a slight concern and think he needs to improve in one specific area, which I'll come on to later on in the video. But first of all, what type of central midfielder is Toby Collyer? Well, the De Jong comparisons are obvious, but I think it's just because he kind of looks like him. And of course De Jong came through under Ten Hag at Ajax, because I just don't think Collyer has the same level of press resistance as De Jong did at that age, or even what Mainu has now. And for me, that is a key attribute that you would need in order to be considered a De Jong regen, as you would call it in football manager terms. Collyer to me is a far better passer of the ball than he is a ball carrier, although I still think that Ten Hag and his coaching staff do need to develop one specific part of Collyer's passing game. But before I come on to that, let me analyse the best part of Collier's game. So what I like most about Collyer is how efficient he is in possession. He receives the ball, instantly gets it out of his feet, and is looking for a pass to move the play on. And this can be an incredibly valuable skill to have in the midfield, as having a player like Collyer sitting in the 3-2, 2-3 or 2-4 rest defence in the middle third, sitting behind the opposition's midfield line, is going to ensure that the tempo of the play remains high, which is something that's been a major issue for United. Whilst of course you do want players who are constantly looking for those forward passes, I just feel like last season players like Maguire, Casemiro, Evans, etc. just took too long on the ball and would often opt for a sideways pass anyway after dilly-dallying and allowing the opposition to shuffle across. And whilst you could apply the same accusation to Collyer, as a lot of his passes are quite simple or sideways, he doesn't delay his pass, and this makes a massive difference as it can allow you to work the ball into certain positions maybe 1 or 2 seconds quicker, which can be the difference between you eventually finding a passing lane to progress the ball in behind the opposition's midfield line, or a pass being closed off as the midfield has time to shuffle across and cut off that passing lane that maybe would have been open if you had moved the ball a bit quicker. But Collyer also has the engine to be able to break forward with these runs ahead of play, something that will definitely be needed if Ten Hag is deploying a false 9 like Xerxes, who's dropping off from the forward line and looking to create space ahead for midfield runners. So in short, Collyer is a very good retainer of possession who is technically proficient in the majority of situations, whilst also having the athleticism and a decent enough defensive ability to come in for Mainu and play alongside an anchorman ball winner like Agate. But before I come on to what I think Collyer needs to develop in his game, if you want to pick up any of the new season jerseys or retro or international jerseys, go over to Jersey FIFA. You can use code Atlantis at checkout for a discount. A link will be in my Instagram bio, which I will leave linked in the description. So in terms of what I think Collyer needs to develop in order to be a first team player, I think Ten Hag and the coaching staff need to try to get him to prioritise those midfield splitting passes between the wide midfielder and central midfielders of the opposition, as whilst retaining possession with efficient sideways passes certainly has its place. I would like to see Collyer taking more risks with his passing and also adding some disguise as well. Sergio Busquets was the master of the disguised pass, shaping like he was going to play a pass one way in order to wrong foot the opposition player in front of him, before then fluidly adjusting his body and playing a pass maybe 30 to 45 degrees from where he shaped up to play the initial pass. But in general, if Collyer wants to be a main fixture in the United first team squad, not just for next season but seasons after as well, I do think his all-round game has to go up a level or two. In the youth setup, you can look very proficient in dictating the game from deep, but the Premier League and senior football in general is just substantially more physical, with teams also having better defensive structures as well. In my opinion, I think Dangor is slightly ahead of Collyer in terms of his development. I just think his vision and passing range is a bit better than Collier's, but I think at least one of these two should be replacing Christian Eriksen in the United squad, not playing or featuring in every game, but still getting enough minutes to develop. Although whatever happens, Collyer has to be playing football next season. If he isn't going to get a decent amount of minutes in the first team for United, then United have to send him out on loan, preferably to a mid to lower table Eredivisie or even a Belgian Pro League side who have a manager who's going to use a similar sort of style to Ten Hag, specifically using a possession dominant and high pressing style.